Hello. I'm here to talk about my June books. Late again. Oops. But I actually have a good excuse. I was very busy at work, and in fact, I read 5 books. I'm putting the 5th one away because I'm going to talk about it in my July video because I think I need it. So I have more than 1 or 2 books because I was so busy. I was at someone visiting, and I just, yeah, didn't have time to read as much as I would like. So here we are. And so now I'm going to talk about 4 of my 5 June books. Yeah, let's go. So the first one was me continuing the Expand sci-fi series, James Essay Corey Cibola Burn. Really like this one, which I'm glad because I didn't like the first one too much. But this one was awesome. I loved it. So here we are on a new planet, and basically there is like this sort of, I guess, fight for the planet in a sense. There's like different factions involved that want to settle there, and obviously not agreeing, sabotaging, bombing, and all that jazz. And then we have our dear Rocinante crew. I don't actually know how you pronounce that. I never heard it said out loud. But Don Quixote's horse. So I guess you should say it more Spanishy. Regardless, the Rocky crew basically is hired then to be a sort of mediator between those factions that are like, yeah, fighting each other. And like I said, there was bombing, so there has been deaths, and yeah, so they go there and try to, yeah, try to be the voice of reason, but obviously things don't go so smoothly. And we also I can't say like too much things because I'm worried I would spoil book 1, and I don't even want to do that at this point. But we have some like threads going back to book 1 that we're also kind of continuing and also getting a kind of resolution, which I really enjoyed. And the tension in this book was done really well, because it starts and like it starts big but then kind of calms down, but at the same time it's like while you read you can feel the tension, you know, like these people, they don't trust each other for a second. And like just a tiny thing has to happen and someone goes mad, and all shit hits the fan. And then there is like a point in the book when it really starts going crazy, and from that moment on it basically gets from bad to worse to worse to worse to worse to worse to worse. It just doesn't stop, which is probably my own minor gripe. At some point I was just like slightly exhausted, like, okay, I get it, everything's shit, can we move on, can we like resolve this story? It just yeah, went a snitch too much for me, and it just got like, yeah, same old. Okay, now they also have that problem. Okay, didn't really change the story, didn't really higher the stakes because they were already high. So yeah, minor gripe. It wasn't really like book destroying, was true good tension, like I said, good story, and yeah. So this was a 4.5, 5 stars for me, like somewhere in between, maybe not a full on 5 stars, but really good book. The second book that I read in June was, I started a series of unfortunate events. The Bad Beginning is the first book by Lemony Snicket. Is it Lemony? Yes. Which is a children's story. I think it's also a Netflix series or some kind of series. Regardless, yeah, this didn't work for me. I mean, like, I do enjoy children's stories sometimes. For example, The Nutcracker was so cute, by E.T. Hoffman. But this one just didn't work. I mean, it starts actually by saying, like, if you want a happy story with a happy ending, then don't read this book. And maybe I just should have kind of listened to that. Because, yeah, it's just like, obviously all bad shit happens, and it's like, but it's in a level where it's like unbelievable. Which at the same time I get it, it's a children's story, so you want to like over exaggerate everything, but to me just, yeah, it didn't ring like interesting to me. And there's a lot of stupidity, and like obviously adults not believing the children and what you guys really know, and I don't know. It just, yeah, didn't work for me. I'm not gonna continue the series, but at least I love the artwork. This is cool. So that was book number 2. Book number 3 was another children's story, and this one I enjoyed. I can already start by saying that. So this is The Secret Garden by Frances Hudgson Burnett. I'm not so sure how you would pronounce that. So this one I loved. So we follow this little girl. She grows up in South Africa with her English parents, and basically has the life of a queen, but also, or princess rather, but also not purely nice, because it's like described in the book that the mother is pretty negligent, or both parents. She basically never sees her mom and has only just the servants around her, but the servants do anything she wants, absolutely anything. And then basically in the beginning, some kind of illness or plague hits and everyone dies, except for her. So then they find her, and she's basically sent to her uncle in England, and still like living large, if you will, like a huge mansion. He's rich, has the money and all that jazz, but there's like a mystery around him. Like he seems to not be nice, or just not enjoy social company, and he basically says once hi to her and then you don't see her, and like everyone knows, like or like the servants, they're like talking about, yeah, you have to do exactly what he says and you can't go against him and things like that. So they're like almost like scared of him. So there's this mystery about what's with the uncle. But she, of course, like I said, she was basically living a princess life all this time. So she's like super spoiled. For example, she never put on her own clothes, and she doesn't have like a lady's maid. Then she does get a maid, but like that girl is like, yeah, I can bring you your food, but put on your own clothes. And it's just like kind of funny, because like she gets so angry and she even like curses at them and says really bad words. And you're like in the beginning, it's like, whoa, what the hell? But like at the same time you understand. And also the narrator is like an annoying narrator, like saying, yeah, but of course she would say that she never knew anything else. That's how she grew up. And so basically the story is about her like getting acclimated to England and the English household and the people there, the servants. She finds a secret garden then, which is part of like her transformation from become this spoiled, really annoying brat, and to become just this really cute, loving child that like solves yeah, it's like what can I say without spoiling? She's like what the house needs in the end, let's just say that. And it's super cute, and I love this one, and it's very short. I can highly recommend it. Yes. Book number 4 of 5 that we're only talking about 4 was The Bonesetter's Daughter by Amy Tan. This one I enjoyed for the most part. So unfortunately I don't remember the protagonist's name. Is it on the first page? Ruth. Okay, we're following Ruth and Lulu Ling, her mother, or mostly Ruth in the beginning, and she's basically this Chinese American woman living, her life and doing career, having a white boyfriend or husband even. I don't remember if they're married, but he has kids from his previous marriage, and they have some like domestic struggle, and her mom, Lulu Ling, she's like starting to become a bit weird, saying things that don't make sense and forgetting stuff and things like that. So Ruth is getting really worried for her mom, and basically in the beginning we're just following this kind of like domestic struggle and her trying to juggle her job, her husband/boyfriend, and the kids that he has, and the kids when the kids are with him, and she also takes care of them like she's very kind, as if they're her own. And but at the same time there's also this kind of cultural differences. So when like she has these traditional like Chinese dinner, like the kids from him don't want to eat the Chinese food, and when Ruth's mom talks in Chinese, they're like, what the hell, why doesn't she talk in English and stuff like that. So it's like, it's a little bit like it's like very uncomfortable, some situations there, and that's basically the beginning of the book. And we sort of like see Lulu Ling or the mom getting worse and worse and worse, and forgetful wise, and like even saying a weird thing about a photo where it's her and her sister and their mother, and she said like, that's not my mom, and people were like worried like she even stopped recognizing people, so that it could be Alzheimer's. And we stopped by Ruth sort of discovering, because then Ruth moves in with her mother because she's so worried, and also like I said, at home is some struggle happening at the same time. But she's like, yeah, right now my mom is bad. This is priority number one, which I really enjoy. I really like that she did that. That she was like, Ruth was strong enough to say no. Now I'm taking care of my mom. That's number one right now. And then basically, yeah. But then she finds this like diary of sorts that's written in Old Chinese by her mom, but she can't translate it. But she finds a translator. And then basically we switch in the book. So it's like 3 parts, and then we go to grandma. So Lulu Ling's mom, and we go all the way back in time into China and follow basically their lives. So first to grandma, and then how she had her daughter, which is then Ruth's mom, and then later we followed in Ruth's mom on what she did, and there was also of course the war, which then eventually caused them to want to leave, and first her sister, and then Ruth follows her to America later, and all the struggle with that. So obviously I can't say all too much without spoiling. But then like we get like the whole picture, and it's kind of interestingly done, because when you start to read the beginning, you're like, yeah, something's off, something feels weird, but you can't really put your finger on. But when you like get to read like how it really happened, you're starting to understand some of the weird things that Lu Ling said, and it only makes sense, and it's like, oh, she's maybe not that bad, and in the end we get like obviously a kind of resolution. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I have my biggest gripe, it's quite a big book, was there, but there's a lot of filler in here that I, especially in the background stories, that I was like, we read like some days where stuff was happening, and I'm like, and it didn't really contribute to anything. It was just like how they lived, and I kind of get it, but also at the same time I don't need to know. Yeah, like I wanted to solve the mystery, I wanted to move on, and to me it was just too much filler in here that didn't really give me things that could help me in understanding either the personalities or the mystery. And so that is basically why I gave this like 3.5 stars, and not a 4 or a 5, definitely not a 5 for me. But anyway, yeah, I mean, all in all, I thought it was a very interesting story, and I enjoyed it, and the mystery was very good, but yeah, at the same time, I sort of had it figured-ish, I guess, I don't know. But anyway, so it's a good book. It's definitely solid. A bit long, but yeah. So those were 4 books that I read in June, 4 out of 5. And yeah, don't think I have much more to say, honestly, not today. So I'm signing off. Sorry I'm late again. I hope you're reading, and have a lovely day. See ya.